Black Ops Cold War has the best settings I think any Call of Duty has ever had, along with Modern Warfare. That's pretty much the same settings, but today we're going to talk about how to use these settings and become a much better player. I'm going to show you guys what to actually change, what to do, and pretty much share my exact settings with you guys so that you guys can play the game a lot better, do a lot better in general, and get a bunch more kills. Now before we get into it, I just want to say that you guys, there is some things that you will be able to change, and once we get to that, you can kind of do what you want to do with those things, but for the most part, try to copy what I do, get used to it, and you'll see it's pretty nice. But there's some things that, like, if you copy it, it's just not going to feel right for you. So we'll get into that when we do. These are the best settings in Black Ops Cold War. What is up, guys? My name is Nick and welcome back to another Black Ops Cold War video, man. Today we're talking all about settings. I need to update this video because it has been a very long time since I've done so, and there's been a few things that I actually changed within the settings, some things that I changed myself, and you guys are going to see that, and it's some things that I normally don't change whatsoever. Now before we get into this, guys, if we could go for 1,017 likes on this video, that would be absolutely amazing. I mean, you guys could do it. Just smash it, do it, and let's get that done with. Comment down below what you use as a sensitivity. I want to know what everyone's sensitivity in this game is, because that's the one thing that everyone says they have to play on their own sensitivity, and no one likes it when I tell them what sensitivity to use, so that's not what I'm gonna do today. And also, guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel with those notifications turned on. Alright, let's get into the settings. The first one I want to talk about is it's gonna be contradictory, okay? I just said we're not gonna talk about sensitivity, but pretty much I want to get into this really fast and explain if your play style, what you like to do, and all that kind of stuff, and what sensitivity you should be playing at. So I normally would play on a 7 or an 8. You guys know that. That's what I always played on, but I recently changed it to a 12. And from 12, I even go to 12.5 sometimes for both horizontal and vertical. And the reason for this is because the sensitivity compared to the ADS sensitivity are two different things completely. And we're going to get into that. So sensitivity, I like it being a little higher. So if there is people behind me, beside me, or anything like that, I could easily go and shoot them. Now, I used to play on 8, and I still do play on 8 sometimes, but you could turn around on people a lot quicker, and your accuracy isn't affected whatsoever. Now, let's talk about ADS sensitivity. So for the ADS stick sensitivity, the low zoom, I normally keep this at a 0.90. 0.90 feels right, it feels nice, and this is for guns like SMGs with the iron sight, or if you have like a sight that doesn't have too much zoom on it, anything 3 times or lower, this is what you want to keep it at. And now for the high zoom, this is for snipers, all that kind of stuff, if you're quick scoping, no matter what you're doing. Now it depends. If you're using a sniper, I like to keep mine at 1.2 so I can snap on people really quick, but if I'm using an LMG or an AR or something with a 4 times or higher scope, I'm going to put that down to a 0.80 so I could easily control it. You know, when your scope is zoomed in so much, it's really hard to control that sensitivity. But let's get back to talking about some regular things now. So the button layout, you guys could see I leave it on stick and move. Now stick and move, this is another one that you guys could choose what you want to put it at. I put stick and move because I like jumping using my R3 button. I like to be able to jump shot people using R3. I feel like jump shotting in this game and drop shotting, I feel like jump shotting is just a little better in my personal opinion. It just feels a little more right. So I press R3, I never have to take my hand off the shooting button, the aiming button I should say, and it works out really nice. Now not only do I do that, I also play on flipped so I can shoot with L1 and R1 rather than L2 and R2. I don't like shooting with L2 and R2, especially on a PlayStation controller. It feels awkward, my fingers don't like really fit right, like it just doesn't feel right. So I play with L1 and R1, and also the triggers are a lot smaller to press down, so you get to shoot milliseconds faster. But like I always say, man, in a game where it takes milliseconds to kill people, you want to have that advantage. So playing flipped really does help you out a lot, but this isn't going to matter all too much, and you guys are going to see why in a second. So if you guys like playing with L2 and R2, definitely go ahead and do that. Now the inverted vertical look, you don't need that. Aim response curve type, I always recommend standard. Dynamic and linear aren't that great in this game, so definitely stick to standard on that. And a real important one right here is the controller vibration. Disable this every single time you can. In any shooter game, you want to disable this, because when your controller vibrates, your thumb is moving a little bit with the vibration, and that means that when you're trying to aim at people with R3, there's going to be micro adjustments. Your thumb's going to be making micro movements, which might mess up your aim. Now it's not too much, but once you get used to playing without controller vibration, the game just plays a lot easier. It's a lot easier to aim at people. It just feels a lot more natural. Now I will say, once you disable this, I'm going to tell you guys, for like a day or two, not just a game or two, like a full-on day or two, it's going to feel weird to play like this, but make sure you do it, trust me. Just disable it. It's going to work out really nice. Now, target aim assist, obviously, dude, if you're playing controller, like, definitely enable this. You obviously want to enable this. Now, if you're not moving, the aim assist isn't working. So you got to make sure that you're strafing to be able to actually get the aim assist, which is kind of weird, but it is what it is. Now, target aim assist mode, I keep it on standard. You could go legacy, precision, or focusing. Standard just feels a lot more right, especially when playing on console. When I play on PC, I forget which one I put it on, but I think I put it on either focusing or precision, but I like standard. It's good. ADS aim assist enabled, obviously. Airborne mantle behavior automatic. I don't like pressing to mantle. I don't know why. And just in case I'm falling and I'm falling a lot and I want to catch on to something, it's automatic. It'll automatically do it if there is the option to do that. Let's get on to some other settings, because some of them are really important in this game and some of them just aren't that important at all. And some that I want to talk about, like, for example, the stick layout. Don't touch this. Never touch this. If you touch it, it's going to mess up the game. It's not going to be right. And the ADS stick swap, leave it at disabled, obviously. Left stick minimum input threshold. Now, this is pretty important. And the max threshold should definitely be 99, so you can move your stick all the way and it's going to obviously count it. Now, 10, you might be like, dude, why are you keeping it on 10? I don't keep it on 10. I don't know why it's there. It was just there because I think I was messing around with the settings before starting the video. Put this to the lowest. So the second you move it, you start moving, you start running and stuff like that. Also for the right stick, this one I don't actually like to keep at 1. I kind of keep this one anywhere between 5 and 10, and that's because if I do make a micro movement, I don't want it to mess up while I'm actually shooting at someone. So I leave this at 7 in case I do make a very, like, a half of a millimeter movement. It won't actually mess up my accuracy whatsoever. And then keep this at 100, of course. It doesn't really matter. Trigger dead zone sensitivity. This is important. So if you don't like playing with L1 and R1, this is where this comes into play. If you're still playing L2 and R2, set this all the way down to 0.01. So the second you touch those triggers, it starts shooting and aiming on sights. Because I think the game naturally had it at like a 0.15 or a 0.20 before they brought the setting in. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's where it was at. So you did have to press down a little bit more before this actually started coming into effect. But now if you set it to a 0.01, it's going to be really good. If you set it all the way to the max, which you definitely don't want to do, it's a 1.0, you definitely don't want to do that. That means that you're going to have to press your trigger all the way down, like completely down, before it starts actually shooting at someone. You can't press it halfway, it doesn't matter. You can't do anything like that. Now, controller sounds, PlayStation controllers have controller sounds. Disable it. I don't like that. Unless you're not playing with a headset, you might like it. Sprint behavior, go to. So press to sprint, obviously. And then I think the rest of them, I don't think it's really that important, all of these things here. Equipment behavior, I put it on hold so I can just let go of the button and it automatically shoots it. If you press it on toggle, if you want to shoot a grenade, you got to press it twice. But yeah, let's get into the graphics quickly. This I think is pretty important as well. And now the brightness, what I like to do is just set it to 100. If you're playing Black Ops games, setting it to 100 is the best option. If you're playing Modern Warfare games or any Infinity Ward games and stuff like that, you want to set it to where it's actually not visible at all or barely visible or whatever it is. But in Black Ops games, the game looks a lot better when it's set to the max. That's just my opinion. That's what I like. My field of view, I don't play at 120. That's just personal preference. Like I said, you could set this to whatever you guys like. You don't have to set it to 110 if you don't like. I mean, if you like playing on 80, definitely go for it. Don't get used to that though. Try to get used to one that's a little higher so you could actually get more vision on your screen. The reason I don't play 120, to me, it doesn't look natural. It looks a little weird. It looks a little like too much, if that makes any sense. So I play at 110, and I think that's really good. ADS field of view affected. I like to make it affected, obviously. Vehicle aiming field of view affected, and then motion blur, dude. You do not need motion blur. Disable this 100%. Let's get into the audio. The audio is important. So normally when I'm recording, I do mess up these here. So if I'm recording voice with my buddies and stuff like that, I'll actually turn down the music volume, anything like that. But really, if you want to hear the game to its fullest, keep these all at 100. But if you want to hear more sound effects, this is like footsteps, grenades blowing, guns and stuff like that, set everything lower. Set like the music lower, set the dialogue volume lower, set the cinematic lower, and keep that louder so you can hear footsteps a lot more clear. Personally, in this game at least, I don't feel like it's much of a difference. I just leave it as is for the most part. Audio presets, high boost is what I like, but you could definitely go and set it to like bass boost or super bass boost or whatever. I just like high boost. I just feel like on my headset, it works out nice. It looks good. Hit marker sound effects enabled. Obviously, it does help just a little bit. And then everything else here, I mean, you guys could go ahead and copy. I got my open mic sensitivity. Normally, I put this a bit higher because my mic picks up everything. Even a little whisper it's going to pick up. But yeah, you can just do what you got to do. But that's it right there, man. The interface, there's nothing really too important here. I think this is more personal preference. So if you guys want to change this, go ahead and do so. But that's going to be it for the video, man. If you guys did enjoy it, like I said, if we could go for 1,017 likes on this one. If you want to poke something, poke the like button. It's fun to do. It takes like a millisecond to do anyways. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are around here with those noties turned on, and let me know down in the comments below, what is your current sensitivity, both horizontal and vertical? If they're both the same, just let me know one number down in the comments below. I want to see what people play on. I want to see if most people play on low or high. But yeah, it's gonna do it for me, guys. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Nick, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.